fantastic freak show. And the sons and lovers get together, and the snow's a long way off, and all we have is each other. Fantastic no moon night, and the jitterbugs at the bar haven't the heart to hang out, and the beat of the heart as it hangs out. Daughters and lovers blow islets of smog through each other, and the house is alive despite the drought. Phenomenal flakes of city night pulse through the blind slats, and I know that wherever I'll go, I'll carry the music inside me. Wherever I'll go, home will be carried inside me, beyond my words and this petty insanity that eats me up. Fantastic freak show, and lovers only have what is left of this night. No moon, no rain, no street, no stairway. And here at your feet, in the midst of the noise, by the edge of this town, I live where the sky is lowest. They talk about work, the men who have jobs. They discuss some aspect of work, some gossip, some inside joke or technical tour de force. James Dean in a gallery window. We talk about sleep. People just too weird. They dance for nothing, when ritual become nothing, a mark on the floor that can be approached but not gone beyond. They eat for nothing and love for nothing and sing for nothing, are good for Wednesday. Let's get together Wednesday. I can't. I have to bury my mother's ashes. Well, does that take all day? For people are good for ashes. Birds dance, people weird. Try to be things for nothing, costumed in health. Me, take my rotting body to its end. Don't try, don't be, use the limited language given me. People fly, wings of fire, burn for nothing. Poor kids at the end of their dance, for nothing. To shit, he says. Thin line on a thinner wall. People do things for nothing, to be something, a safe house. Whose Holocaust is this anyway? I will stink by my end, anyhow, by way. Suicidling along in this fantasy of why I do things, why I think I do things. A spot on the floor for the dancer to step within, kaleidoscopic shadows step within. People weird, they sing for nothing. The star is over, has passed the belly, has laid hands on and left directions. But the roots are abandoned. People build roads for nothing. Night viewing the cherry blossoms, illumined by their own pink light, for nothing. Scratch yourself with a threaded nail like an off-duty sign lit on. The dent on your face becomes a newly worn fender, red-cheeked yet ashen and foiled, but still I'll breathe you in. Still, I'll take you home anyway. She works in a saxophone factory. She's young and pretty. All day long she sits in front of a hole punch, punching holes in ivory. She gets the blues, though she's never played them. She's young. Her blues are still on the bright side. Anything can be too late if it's not on time. Seeing one fall over and over again. Why did God make me this way? How to explain this? How much this figures in? Where have all the leaves gone? I'll tell you. Look in your pockets. Her baby was born in the factory, all hollowed out like a reed. What's to show for it? She's young. The man squats facing a wall. He fingers the air, punching out a bluesy tune. Miracle is the extension of wish. She's young and pretty, her life still measured in holes. Dash the sores, dash the miracles, dash the hollow at the bottom of your heart. Love is a flavor that tastes like love when sipped through a red straw. Love is the thin hollow of the straw itself. A hollow where love comes to rest at the edge of a wet meadow. My feet are getting wetter and the mud thicker. I will come to rest with love on the wall of the forest floor. Dash the stitches, dash the kind, kind words, dash the heard and the unhearing. Love is a criminal that offers me food while draining my bones of their marrow. Don't look for tragedy. It's right here where you left it, in the amphitheater, surrounded by a chorus of music and words and misunderstanding. Kazan said, when one person is right and one is wrong, that's melodrama. When two people are right, that's tragedy. When we Democrats decide just to enjoy ourselves in quake and in flood, our story will be easier to handle. Consequence, consideration, sequential relationship. This is hip. This is a jazz poem. Run it through your fingers and play it, say it. This document of heat, this is a jazz poem. Covered in circumstance, circumference of, roundabout, head trip, cooler than tonight, into nebula hotness. It's it, this thing called free, so enjoy yourself. It's more than about time,
This is testament, monument, concrete elusiveness. Make it happen. This book of ice, bartered like a crisp winter morning, a tale in the back of her head, tales told in the unturned pages, frozen for all to see, beneath itself in a case of encrustment. A jazz poem, a book of ice, one foretells the other, preclude, exceed. The flame jumps into my hand on this mad, sad occasion for happiness. We dwell in the pages and our cheeks redden and swell. This is what we came here for, not to remember, not to be forgotten, to enjoy ourselves, to be recorded in the book of ice, like Daniel, like crest, like monolith, like tomb. A jazz poem. A have you heard this, and does it make you laugh and sneer and comment and cry and be poem? A book of ice, pages dried by an unflamed fire, wet and torn and bent and philosophic. A gallery of misanthropes and authors and artists stuck together by this thaw, clearly bleeding into each other's hands. This is a where have you been and back again essay. The club, the store, the market, the place, the gallery, the haven, the lie, the ballast, the blast. Here was not yesterday. We sat and dreamed and tried to remember the notes, the chords, the letters we wrote to each other, pressed hours between the pages, smell gone, but a structure to remind one of origin, where we stem from. This is the organ of knowledge. A jazz poem? A leg wet from the splash of a passing crime, a plate glass window on a meaty street. This is hip, a jazz poem. A bagel with cream cheese, an overpriced slice of us, of what we think we are. If we enjoy ourselves, then our story will be easier to take, swallow, history, tragedy, logo, theosophy, democracy, immediacy, oligarchy. Get drunk and anything sounds good. Don't cry yourself to sleep. Don't think about the ultimate highest jazz poem. This is a jazz poem, a book of ice. Trust has nothing to do with it. Get drunk, get drunk. We gave it to us to take us away. We murdered the night with music and with growling. We will not be forgiven. It's all here in the book of ice, but the pages are worn and frozen. Your turn, they cannot be turned. They can only listen to your reasons, wrinkled and unmoving. This is a jazz poem. No, you'd better think again. The rain has stopped for us today. The sun comes out at sunset. The wind brays sweetly through the now pale onion flowers, open to a new diversity. The sounds of equivalence and rhyme. But it is still and always will be true. Columbus never stopped here. I dreamed I was Van Gogh in Brooklyn or the Lower East Side, and my folks who thought me touched told me not to go walking in the evening's heavy rain, and my brother and sister also said, "Take care." Mumbling timidly goodbye, I left the brightly ill-lit flat and climbed down many stairs to reach the ground. I walked the street without a coat or socks, but from somewhere an umbrella held, and with each step taken, the rain increased, as if itself were in some hurry to get nowhere fast. And the day's dark density glowed in moody increase as my shirt and pants ballooned with wet, and my soaked-through shoes kept parting waves like the Red Sea or a speeding car. I dreamed I was Van Gogh in Brooklyn, somewhere near the Lower East Side, thinking starry nights in the pouring rain to background music, with somewhere the sky boldly, flatly twisting above the solid mass of clouds, in blue and gray lightning swirls, lighting a canvas not yet wet, a crazy, sharp space above the false ceiling above me, the palette being laid out in my clean and confused mind. I dreamed I was Van Gogh, all wet and sad and thinking. I dreamed I was Van Gogh. Duets. Squeaky ladders and false floors, watching your step, every step. Duets. Two voices got together to sing in the empty room. The tree shakes itself of its voices. Two tongues brush, they say warm to each other. I say to you, once is enough. I say to you, once. Two lights shine on the keys. Two keys open the soft belly of your muse. Duets. Two shoes speak to me softly, squeak out their mind. He makes everything, that's everything, and once is enough. Two independent conversations. A warm, gracious thank you. Dog. One is like the other. Rain. Three elements combine to make a dream. A dream. A dog in the rain. I see it. I sleep it. I imagine it. Dream. It sees me. It sleeps me. It imagines me. A dream in the rain. Duets. One is not the other. Infinite elements form a duet. Time, sound, space. No elements make up a duet. You dream me into place. We are bottom and bottomless. On it, of it, many patterns on fine materials, the finest pearls, a dog in the rain. Three elements make up a dream. The dreamer, the dreamer, the dream. A nautilus curving a cappella through chamber. Dream is inquiry, inquiry is dream, a memory of the future. Notes taken at an as yet unscheduled event. Blue duet, a note come due. Because all elements make up a dream, we are its proof. This is not a new song, but is smoke, is constant, is an element. Take away one, the one remains. Duet. This is just another way to deliver yourself. The world runs round expressionless angels. I can't control my dancing. The birth of this thing is some great tale beyond myth. So much rooted in the world of it takes heat to put the heat on. It takes heat to put the heat on. It takes heat to put the heat on. Heat to put the heat on. Heat to put the heat on. Put the heat on. Put the heat on. Heat on. Heat on. Heat on. Parting, yearning, solitude, the complete commotion they cause. I eat red cabbage out of a jar and red beets. I eat red bean chili out of a can and drink red soda from a bottle. Me, you, and the runaway kite. The beauty of late summer tangled in our shoes and clothes. The empty glasses lying on their sides. The bottle floating empty on the lake. Me, you, we sleep a blissful sleep. Parting, yearning, solitude, and the complete commotion they cause. One thin line and many faces. She calls me to dinner. Bodhisattva, time to eat. I wiggle and squiggle and squirm about the room, severe pain in my rectum, so many small nothings to be done. Bodhisattva, your food is getting cold. I should never put it on the table before you sit down. True. I speak in one tone or another, trying to reach the source. The horse and cart drag my voice along slowly. Try to relax, she says. I want to, but they won't let me. Flinging my arms about in all directions. Please, please, I feel so... Swallowing the elixir of immortality, waiting for my words to return. Peacock, carry me onward. Bodie, you should eat more greens. I spit its feathers from my mouth. Help, help, O infinite light, I scream from behind like gas. I am only one thin line with a heart at one end and a head at the other. What is collected, i.e., recollect, sound, or movement? Mary, your albums are so much like you, in such bad shape and so scratchy, and they skip and get stuck so much, are so melancholic and morose and intangible and unintelligible and incomprehensible and misunderstood and complaining and frantic and romantic and pathetic and all pathos encompassing. Like you, their sound is almost movement across my senses, my tics and neurotic pains and rheumatistic fingers, and my pit as they slide. Your long plays are so consistently grotesquely goofy and cause me to ask, what is remembered more, movement or sound? Both seen in my mind, both heard, whether encountered or missed. I beg your forgiveness for my misplaced ethic, my aesthetic, my lack of politic, my nihilistic chasm. The politics of my loss and longing. I look up and there a changing cicatric night and warm breeze smudge the moving moon. And I'm thrown inward to a cold room, ears aflame, cheeks a solid, invisible sunset. And I ask the questions. Why, Mary, are your records so fucked up? And where, Mary, have you all been? My time is valueless and linear, though I wish it weren't. Or is that circular? Breathing. She walks with her eye like auto shutter, selective viewing. This like a painting that only can watch one viewer at a time. Viewfinding. A painting by an old Flemish master, making the best of the thin, hellish light. To write eternity on a piece of paper is so easy. Then everything else follows. Walls, shadows, dreams, death, life, gurus, signs that say keep off the grass, signs that say don't feed the birds, signs that say not too fast, signs that say not so slow. This new generation of ours, already grown old, this new year, nothing. When I asked the man for directions on how to get to eternity, he said just keep walking, and then you'll come to the end of the street. And when you get to the end of the street, just keep walking, and you'll come to the end of the street. And when you get to the end of the street, just keep walking, and you'll get to the end of the street. And when you get to the end of the street, just keep walking. You get the idea. To write eternity on a piece of paper is so easy. Then everything else follows. Poets, drunkards, lovers, flowers, paranoids, ceilings, bombs, toilets, answers, fingers pointing, picking noses. To find eternity is very hard. To be eternity is very hard. Signs that say stop, you are now approaching eternity. Signs that say eternity is just around the corner. Signs that say school crossing. Signs that say at the end of this street, eternity. Slow down, no alcoholic beverages, no unnecessary noise. Don't feed the pigeons, don't squeeze the squirrels. At the end of this street, eternity. Then just keep on walking until you get to the end of this street. And when you get to the end of this street, just keep on walking. Circles, doormats, windows, mirrors. You spoke to yourself in your mirror. You decided to change by changing the course of the street. That's okay. This course we've walked is dead, but we keep walking. The new course will be similar to the old in just one way. When we get to the end of the street, we'll just keep walking. But maybe we'll stop. Stop searching, stop walking, sit down and rest and kiss and talk and hug and fight and love and die, and never once mention eternity. When we get to the end of the street, we'll stop, maybe even turn around if it's not too late. That's nice. It's nice to look for something that's hard to find, but such bullshit to write it down. Nothing pretty or romantic about this poem, nothing at all to read. These signs that say more signs, danger, slippery, falling rock zone, deer crossing, sharp turn, heaven, hell. So easy to write heaven on a piece of stone. The old, tall, thin, gray man in the old, tall, thin, gray suit came toward me, arms out, beckoning, holding in his left hand a small gray card and saying in a thin, sharp, gray voice, "I don't want to die yet. I don't want to die yet. I don't want to die yet." I turned and ran in panic to the white living room, slammed his fingers in the door, slammed the covers over my head. Easy to write death and then eternity follows. As easy to run away or walk to the end of the street and just keep walking.
Maybe if we reach the river, we can take the stone and drop it in.
Night rolls from piano fingers and two old friends meet unexpectedly through the window. Light shine on skull, a fresh melon of heart, soul, and small easy quietness. Night light on long piano player's fingers, and two old friends hug in the doorway. There is no high-polished mirror when Sunny gets blue, plaid, and season-riddled. Night in piano light, dull on the ivories, black keys polished like a fine old mirror, flirting with standards. Two old friends introduce their lovers, then sit at separate tables in the small, crowded cafe. There are eyes that stray transfixed, frozen like untouched night upon the light. There are closed eyes and eyes that wander here in body, there in soul. Eyes like glass, like window, like mirror, like chance, like name, like two old friends. Inside Canon Temple, monks chant. Outside Canon Temple, bell strikes. From inside Canon Temple, flowers and oranges and the smell of sweet incense drift through the door to where I stand on the steps outside Canon Temple in the midst of empty shoes. Inside Canon Temple, worshipers quietly sit, listen to chant and bell and drum and song and thick sweet air, green and gilded light of every spring, like a scat, a vow of time more ancient than the Buddha. She, old, hunched, leaves Canon Temple for a moment. The monk sings the names of families, sings ancestors' names, generation to generation to generation. In the world and outside the world, music always calls. In this world and the next is always beautiful music. Inside Canon Temple, worshipers sing a mournful tune and slowly ring their bells. The afternoon peals away like a slow ringing bell. Perfect afternoon. Outside Canon Temple, prayer plaques bang in the wind. Inside this life and the next, our fathers and mothers are worn by us like skin, like sun, like this perfect spring day. Worn by us like the insides of shoes. Named by us after giving us names. One monk takes it out with a fast-paced prayer, like reinventing bop or time. He causes the breeze to gently rise outside Canon Temple, though he doesn't even know it. Rattles off names as fast as bird can call. Gives birth to dark and light and hair. Only I am moving outside Canon Temple. My body sways in spite of itself. Inside Canon Temple, life goes on, goes by and starts and stops in spite of itself. Babies are born of words. Inside Canon Temple, outside Canon Temple, a new season begins, like a bell contemplating its own sound. The women sing slow, a waka about spring, a ballad about this world and the next. The monk starts up again, and cities roll off his tongue like solo and chorus, but not really, like breakfast and dinner, but not really, like inside and outside, perhaps. He reads the names from flat gold plaques, names from this world and the next. Outside Canon Temple, the rooster begins to crow. He has had enough of the spirit, just wants to get on with things. His voice is as rich as those inside, as rich as the coins that drop into the box. His skin is gold. His skin, the color of the young monk's robes. In the center of New Jersey, something must exist. I don't know. A shadow, maybe. I don't know. She sang that the color of life is belief. The truth is, I don't know. Is reaching out really a habit? In the center of my bedroom, something must remain. We're not there, my wife and I. We're not out of town. And certainly not in the center of New Jersey. I don't know. On the light table, how does a shadow register? Meter, scale, to clarify. Are the cats asleep? I don't know. Crawling about, scavenging. Please, can you spare some change? I don't know. There's some mistake. This is not New Jersey. This is my shadow. The color of the fruit on the vine. The color of the fruit just picked. The color of the fruit in the bowl, whole, sliced. The color of the fruit half eaten. The color of the fruit in the stomach. My crisis is not with my faith, but with my identity. My choice of positions, mustard eyes. The lovely couple that can never be, footprints on my tongue, her shadow loosening on the wall, footprints on my heart, primary moon set in the skyworks, a staged performance, her bare feet painted red, her footprints in my eyes, the whistle in my lungs. I cut into space with a sense of the blues that no one's felt before. The cause always lesser than the effect. Moon, shaking like a body driven, body temperature rising, always lost among the columns, perfect couple never consummate. Moon rising as only smiling fruit can rise. The smell of its shape, stage set, in the falling sky. Such perfect color. His shadow bending into a yawn, the yawning horn causing sleepless breath, the circles forming and unforming, breathless sleep. Footprints on my heart, windows of paper glass, forgotten monster remembered again, the legend made real. I have no faith. I have no identity. I will go and live where there is only my kind. That is nowhere, somewhere remembered in the dance. You change orchestras easily. You are orchestra and column. I confuse one hollow for another and see fault in lies and their benevolence. The fruit is perfectly ripened. The fruit is perfectly rotten. Peach, cherry, melon, blue sky, pretty slow and heavily light. In the cold, in dustbin and overcoat, in cold nation, the voice of the satchel like pennies ringing, the voice of the war maker, peacemaker, harp player, arms taker, in the rare and distant hour when mothers wept and sisters all joined hands and danced, sisters in the cold, in their white dresses and black carnations, dancing, circling, waiting in the light, in this night, in the cold, in the cold, in the cold. The old man lingers, knees bowed together, bone cold, roundedness instantly eaten in the wood. A face of curtains canceling the years. We are waiting to be delivered. We are cured of all delusion. Within the interior monologue, there is reason. And though the primary of reason is far away, it is not unattainably far. Our instinct tells us it is cold within the blemish of history. We wait in the cold for reason to win over. She succumbs to twilight and brushes her features with blush dust. She is soft globe, and the reason I wait in the cold, in ankles of another, in the running cold. The pulp becomes juice, the bashing of headlights begins, in the cold, on the side street and coat sleeve, a warning in cold nation, the voice of the match-tip singing. Leaving the Fassbinder film, I was greeted by the smell of burning leaves. From my childhood in Brooklyn, I told the woman beside me. We leave our homes at various stages of our lives. We return but never reside. We take with us our beliefs, our lack of. This is an old lesson in being human. In the small village, they tell Krishna the man, Krishna the pilgrim to be. If you leave us, at least leave us your shirt. If you don't want to come back for our sakes, well, you've got to, oh please, Mr. Krishna, come back for your shirt. Is this a request of the flesh or the spirit? Is this shirt, this cloth, these garments, symbol of the eternal or the earthly? Oh, the spirit made flesh, of course. The marriage of one to the other. Mama, don't you tear my clothes. Oh, Mama, don't you pass so quickly. The smell of burning leaves passes, and oil beckons me toward reality, to a place where I reside but never quite call home. This is an old human being learning the way of all flesh. I press my cheeks against the child's. He is 10 feet away and round and redly smiles. His shirt is black, his neutral eyes open wide to see what they choose. The village is far away. The rage and the rag become my nakedness. I imagine I'm in Brooklyn where the wandering junk dealer wakes me up. I'm frustrated. My uncle's fishing trip was a slow, lazy fluke. The women, so crooked and deceptive, tear my adolescent insides apart and dump them on a pile of burning leaves out front. I rise upward, a fool of smoke, my shirt waving from the window ledge. Mama, don't you tear my... Up, up, little smoke, through the distancing branches. Up, up, the roots, the clouds, my skin. It's dance the way you brush her cheek. The skin falls just right like a hush against our ears. Teeth's velvet smile, the simplicity of correctness's apologies. Without them, we captive universes blown out in the audience eye sat composing and composed in a listener's state of breathing. It's the ma between kisses, the way jubilant caresses his stare, and we are captured by the right sound, the laugh, frustration at the source of points, light source and seed source, the source of bell and its voice before ancient, before bell was ever there. Enchanted, we sit like the elves we are, mischievous fairies serenaded by the humans we've created, mythologies of signals. The spokes carry us away and into the story. It is so much hocus. Pocus will awake and review the source of music, the source of thinking, not thought, of clothing, of sugar and milk, the source of parent, of dark, dark holes, algae source and desert source and soy. It's the space between the wood and the brass, the mallet and the skin, the shadow and the surface that it occupies. This is no geometry lesson, no physics class. The sources of numbers, of sight and out of sight, wells and well-wishers. If there are only a few great individuals, all too numerous to count, a few inscriptions worth remembering, let us wear them the way poor men wear flowers in their lapels. The source of signatures and keepsakes collecting dust. Joy is a spring, the flowing of which is kept in check by armies of silly hall monitors. I squeeze your face onto a small screen and press your hands against this night. If being is a source that has no source, and the course is hard to follow, presence is a naked foot on a hardwood floor that has no margins. Bobs his head up and down, sadly happy. That was about as gentle as Mayakovsky when he put the gun to his head. Sadly happy. A caution light, he flung himself around like poetry. How gentle is gentle? Subtle, restrained, one-dimensional. A workhorse plowing himself into a hole, like the threads of Mayakovsky's shirt, like his gills, like Mayakovsky's head, supported by the music, smashed and bobbing, her head bobbing to the music like Mayakovsky and disappointment, like culture, like revolutions, forlorn lovers, smashed skull, like Mayakovsky. I live in a world that is dead, surrounded by the living, screaming acrobats. We survive because we're already dead. We kill the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. I watch like a fish behind glass, as if paralyzed. The summer circles with slow deliberateness. Allergies are as swift as a change of the wind. A half hour extends the lake's peace and boundaries. The hummingbird hits the red speckled pockets of every yellow flower. I piss yellow off the side of the red rotting porch. Each flower has at its tip a clitoral vat where the life bleeds through. She swims slowly around the island, swims in circles slowly. She swims slowly in circles around the island, slowly, circling with quiet strokes, syrup around the island, strapped to herself. This is like paradise, she says later, walking back to the car. This is like paradise. She swims slowly around the island. The TV is totally broken. Light falls where it may. I am enclosed in a room filled with notebooks and cats, surrounded by voices and suicides, murders, thefts, near suicides, crashes. I am unfriendly reminder to strangers, locked inside my own commercial, destined to run again tomorrow with or without the black and white, with or without the color, cable, or antenna. I am destined to run in this sleepy room surrounded by fuzzy pictures. I live in a world that is dead, surrounded by the living, screaming acrobats. We survive because we're already dead. We kill the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. I watch like a fish behind glass, as if paralyzed. The summer circles with slow deliberateness. Allergies are as swift as a change of the wind. Her half hour extends the lake's peace and boundaries. The hummingbird hits the red speckled pockets of every yellow flower. I piss yellow off the side of the red rotting porch. Each flower has at its tip a clitoral vat where the life bleeds through. She swims slowly around the island, swims in circles slowly. She swims slowly in circles around the island, slowly circling with quiet strokes, syrup around the island, strapped to herself. This is like paradise, she says later, while walking back to her car. Paradise. She swims slowly around the island. She never splashes. Along the Ganges, people wash their clothes and their sins. I wash the dishes with my television arms. The flesh inside my thighs has tightened into sleep from sitting on my bed all night, watching mouths and bodies move inside the lighted box. Now my television arms are washing dishes, though she says I wash dishes very poorly. But she wants me to be like our neighbors up the street and take turns and share the household chores. Along the Ganges, people bathe and people are buried. People drink and piss and want to live forever. Within the Ganges dwell the gods of wisdom and darkness, and its bottom is encrusted with their film. Along the lip of the sink, water runs slowly toward the cutting board. The bottom of the pot is encrusted with something dark. I wash it with my television hands, wearing polluted blue petroleum gloves. And then I'm done. And then I shut the water off. Before the grave. For the dance, we are all natives, boundaryless crawlers, wild-eyed runners, wide-stepping juggernauts, and lustful holy men. For the dancer, we are a never-ending one-act instance, a stiffening branch at 6 o'clock, an unbroken hoop, a relaxed and ageless drumbeat. The reclining chair. Before the dance, I am a crooked sparrow in a folding chair, a broken rivet reclining on the court. Before the dancer, I am restless fire wanting to surround, engulf, consume. Inside the two, I am soup. After the grave. For the drum, we are all natives, boundaryless crawlers, wild-eyed runners, wide-stepping juggernauts, and lustful holy men. For the drummer, we are a never-ending one-act instance, a loosening branch at 7:45, an unending hoop, a restless and ageless dancer. I like a bush and a tush. The way her metal shadow twists against the wall, the way the white wall collaborates with his white clothes and forms a dark form. I like the way the floor collaborates with flesh, beat and burnt, maybe the way his shadow passes right through the metal and ends up there on the wall, along with everything else, and I mean everything. Nothing to forgive. His shadow doubles on the wall like real estate. The way he makes the sound flutter through his reed, from his heart, through his mouth, her shadow. I like the way it rises out of his, comes detached and flutters with her body, from her body. Holy ceramic design of shadow holes and rainbows, creating and recreating themselves. The way her shadow re-merges with his knees. I like the way breasts and dick and wall sockets keep occurring and reoccurring. Too much movement here and multiplicity.
deception. I'm deceived by all these shadows, and I like that. Watch time break, voice, accent, lisp away, no, limp shadow. Some are moved only by light, others by body, others still no move at all. Too much movement, dancing, kneeling, crouching, bending, withdrawing, withholding, decomposing, resurrecting light. The widows in the windows, light as widow and orphan. We are all not fathered, mother. The lines along the lines of lines, shadow upon shadows. I like that. The way shadow is not darkness deflowered. I like her stretching out on the floor with that naked, all that nakedness, wrapping itself around those metal voices. And I like her boosh and her tush, the accents of the space, rebending the language, reshaping the shadows, submerging back into the burbs of this infinite city. And I like the fact that we are all our only begotten daughters and sons. The famous, the near famous, the how do you do need more roommates. The trackers who come seeking the grail, getting high off the soles of our boots. The zodiac spinning like a sister we've shot through with pellets, a carnival's worth of time, over and over in the ha-ha gallery. The famous, they'll caress you with their charm and kill you with their false pride and sad egos. Writing one haiku a day is good exercise if you know what haiku is. I am not Gautama's brother or child or disciple. I am crippled white American boy. A drip, drip in the arm of God. We are all suicidal, the brilliant, flat-chested, mixed-bred, nervous little woman said. Yes, but we all don't know it. And we're all killers, too. Prognosis. Possible partial recovery if the side effects don't kill you. Live with your fame like a virus and your virus like fame. Both will suck your life away. I am not comfortable with my illness. I do not like going blind, being blind. My bowels and my heart, they bleed. Blue paper. Blue jacket, blue walls. We're talking about the music telling a story. The story you think it tells if you're going to talk about the music telling a story. Whether it's an examination or an untitled original, the music is always saying something and giving and teaching and translating. Asking. If you're going to tell what the music is talking about, say what the music is saying. Say that the music has something to say, that it's telling a story, even if you gotta search your imagination. To look for heroes and such, and personal princesses pounding the dust trails to free themselves from happy endings that all end happily precarious in the end.
There's a violent romance in the cobbles. The music tells you how modern the past can be sometimes. Look there, the music's past us. The music's told us. The music's met us and spoke to us. As we listened and spoke back and woke up one star-rained, civilized night to breathe its ribcage, to eat its dust-cobbled flags and tattooed trees, to paint its walls, to yawn and tell its story. The music woke us one night. His hand in his pocket, a double-breasted day, the wind quietly turning pages of me. A photo from a distance, the kabuki girl in the poster looking so much better than gourmet. And the sound the door makes as it closes, and the sound the wall makes as it laughs at my wisdom. When I was young, the young man says, I used to. Wind, wind, blow, wind, blow, wind, blow, wind, blow, wind, blow, wind, blow, wind. And the noise the traffic makes, and having a lot of fun getting out of it. Wind, blow, wind, blow, wind, blow, wind, blow, wind, blow, wind.